Girls of Reddit, what's the female equivalent of trying to hide a boner? Back in the days of bulky menstrual pads, it was horrible when you didn't anchor it down quite right and suddenly you had a pad wedgie. Front or back. Both were a proper chore to adjust in the wild. As a breastfeeding mother, when my husband gets me excited my boobs leak. Getting your period when you're not expecting or springing a leak. No one wants that stain on the back of their pants for everyone to see. Having to wear an audible feminine hygiene product. Some honestly sound like you're wearing a plastic bag in your underwear. But if you get caught out, sometimes you're reduced to wearing one. You spend the rest of the day trying to move as carefully as possible so not to make too much noise. One that I found out recently. When you're breastfeeding, you go out for whatever reason and then you leak. Through your bra and through your shirt and you just have giant wet patches on your chest. It's horrifying. You know when your boyfriend keeps taking his penis all the way out of you and putting it back in and shoving a whole bunch of air inside of you. And then you try to avoid queefing. Getting underwear stuck up your crack or vag and having to do a sort of wiggle to get it loose. Trying to hide erect nipples. It's not necessarily cold outside or in a situation where I'm turned on. They just do it. Also, sometimes you just get really wet down there. Fabrics that show up sweat patches also show up other wet patches. They are also in the places you can't always see. Trying not to sound crunchy when wearing a pad. Putting a jacket around your waist at school because you are self-conscious that there is blood on your pants during the time of the month. I'm a guy but I have a funny story about this. I work with a girl and she came into the break room one morning wearing some velvet pants in a wine sort of color. I said, hey look. You wore your menstrual pants today. To me they look like something from a minstrel show that you would see at a Renaissance fair. I could tell by the panicked look on her face that she didn't get the connection. Then she looked down and quickly left and that was when I realized that she must have heard menstrual pants. And I start saying yeah no. Minstrel. Like in a traveling lute player. So we had a good laugh about it later but I've never seen her wear those pants again. Trying to fix a pad that's shifted and gone up your ass a bit. Wearing a baggy hoodie to hide you aren't wearing a bra doesn't support enough. Hiding a period stain or hiding the pain on a face from period cramp when you're in public. The awkward moment when you're talking to someone and feel your period start. Or just random sudden flow during. Bonus. One time while I was talking to my boss, the front clip on my cheap bra actually just randomly snapped. My girlfriend answered this. I don't know if everyone experiences this or not. But every so often I get this intense tingle itch sent to my clit. And when it happens in public it is excruciating not to be able to adjust it or make it go away. Normally only lasts at a minute but oh my god. Crossing your legs very tightly. Camel toe. Literally the bane of my entire existence. I'm always pulling down the crotch of my pants because I think it's showing. Feeling an alarming dampness in your underwear during your period and realizing that you've probably completely filled your pad. Followed by the fear of your pants being stained. Trying to adjust the underwire in your bra subtly without looking like you're fondling yourself. How about the condensation on a chair after standing up? That strip of moisture that has accumulated due to the moist environment between your legs? I know it's from that and is normal but it always trips me up. I just don't like it lol. Also, do guys do this? Edit. Whoa. Thank you fellow redditors for the awards. I was unaware so many people had the same issue and that so many people struggled with this alongside me. Y'all are the bee's knees. Thank you again. Yes, that happens sometimes. If I'm aware that it is a possibility I try to remember to just slide a little in my seat as I get up. It effectively wipes the moisture spot with the pants material covering your butt. Definitely agree with the period stain but I am here for some advice. I work with kids with severe special needs and so I am very familiar with unwanted boners. We obviously recognize that it's a natural occurrence, but also not something we want our students to be laughed at for, or occasionally they will try to start other actions to fix it. Our solution is to have the kids wash their hands with cold water up to the elbow. It makes it disappear right away 90% of the time. Edit. Wow guys, thank you for the love and my first gold. Hiding normal discharge wet spots. I don't know if it's just me, but mid-cycle I cannot keep my underwear dry to save my life. The real answer to this question is realizing out of the blue that you might leave a blood stain on whatever surface you're sitting on, and shifting around uncomfortably to prevent direct contact. The fear of damaging another person's property is considerably more potent than shame. When you are on your period and feel a giant blob of dark blood egress, and you hope it absorbed into the pad and not stain your clothes. Yes. Trying to extract a hair from between your boobs when you don't actually know where it is will probably be the equivalent to adjusting your dick, I guess. I think for me it's breathing heavy lol. When I get turned on I have to try really hard to keep my breath calm. I swear I have like an aroused energy that radiates too, and that just makes it worse. Knowing your nipples are poking out so you hunch or cross your arms. Period time. When pants are too tight and your muffin shows. When you are wearing a sports bra and your nipples go total freeze. Sometimes my nipples decide they'd like to let the world know they exist. And I just can't hide them. They'll be noticeable through padded bras and pullovers. No, I have small nipples and no effing clue why they do this. It's not related to my cycle, nor to temperature. They just have bold days. Wearing a bra that's thinner than you thought and having your nipples stick out. I've held a book or a file up to my chest like an anime schoolgirl clutching a love note. When it's 2 AM or you're in a public bathroom and you're trying to soundlessly open a pad. Mayo, honestly I have no shame about that sort of thing at all. Trying to sneak a pad or tampon into the restroom without people noticing, especially if it is in your locker or bag. Edit. Thank you for the upvotes, kind peoples. Never gotten more than 3 or 4. Trying to read as many comments as possible. I answered a question exactly like this on this sub before, but the answer remains the same. Period blood smell. Which is like sweet, rotten meat or fish. Before anyone asks. Period blood stains. Which are inevitable for me because of my heavy flow. Edit. Have gotten thousands of go see a doctor comments. I have. DR. Said it was fine. Unless you are a gynecologist. Have seen a gynecologist for the same issue. Or know a gynecologist. Do not worry. If you are have seen a gynecologist. Please let me know if you think there is a problem. Otherwise, no need to comment. I always found mine smelled metallic. When something comes out of your magic conch and it might be blood or discharge and no one can see it but you know something's there. Hiding hard nipples. When it's cold outside. When you have a thin bra or bralette. What OP wanted. Girls saying how they hide their horniness. What OP got. Vivid descriptions of period blood and smell. Leaving a wet patch on your seat. Usually because I get very wet, but occasionally. I just sweat Narayosus copyright airing. The rest of my body will be fine, but my thighs get very hot, and being a thick woman, my thighs rubbing against each other create even more heat equals sweat. I feel weird saying this, but my female equivalent of trying to hide a boner would be trying to hide the smell of my lady garden. It doesn't smell bad or anything, but it often gets super moist throughout the day and can even dampen my jeans. So I can often smell it myself. So sometimes the best option at work is just to keep my legs crossed as much as possible out of fear of my co-worker smelling if they sit next to me to chat. Don't blush. Don't blush. Don't blush. Trying not to laugh at everything because you find them attractive. Well, there was the time my tampon fell out in class and it was a huge school and they were keeping the bathrooms closest to the classrooms locked because heaven forbid some kid might be Marquis NGNX Cusetta G8 out of CLRS's. And I had to walk all the way across the school courtyard and through the halls to find another bathroom, and it was right after the bell to leave class, so there was no hiding. Not necessarily trying to hide, but more like trying to be discreet. If you ever see two girls walking together and suddenly one stays behind for a few seconds, then catches up to her friend, it's most likely because she, the friend, asked her to check if she stained her pants, shorts, whatever. Trying to speak normally. I lose all train of thought and can't keep up conversation about anything else than sex when I'm turned on because it's so prevalent in my mind. I often end up just looking away and staying quiet. Controlling facial expressions. Sometimes it's really visible on my face that I'm turned on. Immediately saw smirk on his face. Brain. GPS to Pound Town initiated. My face and chest turning red and having to turn away. Which sucks because I also do that when genuinely angry. So I have to either turn away and act like they're getting to me or keep facing them and seem like they're also getting to me. As a person with extremely irregular periods. Surprise public shark attack. Trying to itch your boob in public without looking like you're trying to itch your boob. My camel toe saying hi to the world whenever she can. Not trying to hide a boner but a woman annoyance. Farting when you're wearing a pad but not a tampon. Sitting down. Early on in your cycle. Your fart ends up collecting in your vagina, and when you stand up, the fart ends up coming out along with globs of blood clots. So you end up loudly queefing out blood clots when you stand up, but are also struggling to stand and walk the right way so that the rest of the blood that just came out doesn't navigate towards your butt or anywhere off the pad. Having a whole titty fall out your bra in public and trying to readjust stuff it back in without flashing everybody. Or when the panties go between a lip and you gotta try to pull it out and fix it without being stupid obvious about it. Maybe these are my problems because I either work with only guys and most are pretty oblivious such problems exist. Hard nipples and no bra, or like a thin bralette that you can see them through. Knowing everyone that looks at you is definitely staring at your nipples. I wear a lot of dresses. When I get wet in public, I can actually smell it and I'm afraid other people can too. Armpit and boob sweat when you're wearing a certain color or material. When you realize that your light colored leggings are see-through and everyone can see your underwear. Guy here. Just want to say you are all doing a really good job. Had no idea any of this was going on. When you fart and it comes through the front, then you gotta try and shift around and get it out. Accidentally dropping popcorn into your bra and trying to stealthily take it out. It's not always Esel but blushing. If I have a crush on someone and they start talking to me, I turn bright red. I'm really pale so it's very visible and embarrassing. Edit. History teacher here. U.S. For 20 plus years I have been teaching about the inherent racism of late 19th century minstrel shows. This year, my students took it in a whole new direction and it got very awkward as they thought I was saying minstrel shows. I am not sure what they thought occurred at these shows. I blush way too damn easily so it's really not easy. Edit. Thanks for the award. I love IT. I love you. Edit 2. Thanks for the Snack Award. I love Danger Noodles. Edit 3. Thanks for the third award. I love all of you. Edit 4. A gold 2? Thanks you guys. Usually whenever the slightest embarrassing thing happens to me I go so red in the face, which is a stupid reaction because it just makes me more embarrassed, so thanks body. And when I was in school and college I would look for an excuse to go through my bag under the table and hide my face. Redacted. The sacred texts. Women also get boners. But they aren't visible. But just as distracting. I had an ex tell me all about it. And also how she, and some other women, can take care of it by crossing their legs and bouncing one leg. I have never looked at that sitting position the same again. When are wet and someone notices. Best excuse. I pissed myself. Oh my god, someone put tea in my pants. Trying to discreetly scratch an itch on my nipple. Hiding the DLDO you shoved up her ass before leaving the house on casual Thursdays. Taking the trash out, or a neighbor stopping by when you don't have a bra on and things are just flopping around all over the place. Nipples showing. Crossing your legs when you're frothing at the gash. Upvote for frothing at the gash. I mean, for trans woman. Hiding a boner. LMAO. I came from Martraya just to upvote this. I came in here expecting to see more about how the scent of our arousal is impossible to hide. Like, when I get really turned on, I get juicy and I can totally smell myself. Does no one else have that? Similar to period smell but not the same. Well, I'll throw my hat into the ring. Sometimes where the urge hits, I cannot think of anything else. My mind is in the gutter and it's stuck there. I can't really hold conversations and I pretty much am that anime girl stereotype. Legs clamped together. Hand over my mouth. Biting my lip. I imagine the feeling of getting hard is similar to the pulsing sensation of Egina gets the feeling of getting wet. At least you can hide a boner and there's no evidence after. Right? Sometimes you soak through a seat and it's like, welp. Guess I'll die. And yeah. I agree with all the period ones too. It's not related to sex and a little TMI. But is very frustrating. It's when you get your period when you weren't expecting. You have forgotten to bring your supplies with you and it ends up leaking onto your trousers. These also happen to be light colored, so you're left with the option of tying your jumper around your waist to hide it. Anyone else ever feel awkward when they're sitting on a weight machine at the gym that requires you to bend a bit so your CNT is just pressed up really well against the seat? And when you get up there's a damn wet spot on the seat and you rush to get a paper towel and spray to clean it off, but a guy has already beat you to it and looks at you. Sir, I swear I was gonna wipe down the seat before you saw anything, I'm so sorry. Sometimes my Asajina decides to dump discharge with no warning. Wets my undies and very distracting. See-through leggings. Your period leaking. Squeezing your legs together to relieve the throbbing LMAO. When the underwire in your bra breaks free and tries to shank you. Trying to push it back in with your finger looks like you are trying to finger bang your own cleavage. I would have to assume Jean faux boners because all SZs seem to get those. Parents legit though. I was turned on at a party because of dumb genes. Crying because I'm angry or my face going flush. When you wear a bra without padding and your nipples get a hard on for no f-king reason. Hairy toes. I have jet black long hairy toe hair and when I don't shave it, it literally looks like a dead cockroach died on his back with his legs up in the air.